Good afternoon, Benu in Virgo. First, I'd like to ask everybody to utilize the thumbs up, thumbs down to keep the message in the algorithm. Ask that you use your discernment. If it resonates, that's great, but if it doesn't, please don't force it to. Take the pieces that fit and leave the rest for what don't. First, the collective that I'm speaking, we have a surrounding energy that's trying to be all slick and sly. I just have to say there's a difference in sorcery and real magic too, by the way. So anyhow, we're dealing with the collective in the recent past, taking a step into leaving things behind, walking, something about leaving stuff in the past, whether it be an old version, people, friends, an environment, not concentrating on the spilled milk, but concentrating on what you still have left. Currently, we're working on letting go of the burdens of the past. There's something we've been carrying. It's the weight of it. It's been interfering with the energy of moving into some kind of new path. The challenge is doing so we can step into some new tangible beginning that's going to bring in lots of resources, material wealth, spiritual wealth, just a new way of living. Letting go of this past, people, places, and things. Next intermediate is a realization of judgment, or is that lightning bolt, pivotal moment where it's time to make that ultimate decision in what we're doing with ourselves and where we plan on going. Whether there's a thing of prioritizing ourselves or we're prioritizing our belongings, who's important in our lives, what energies we need to use our discernment, use our discernment on what energies to let in and what energies to let go of. I hope you guys can hear me correctly. The external influence is taking that leap of faith into a new beginning, taking the chance into the unknown. I'm just looking at the scenery here. What we're aware of is there's a King of Swords that we're dealing with. Perhaps is having some kind of influence about something, or like I said, there's some kind of secret, or there's something that's being hidden, and the need to think logical, stay grounded, think logical, not so shut up. Or obviously this king, I feel like we're aware that we're dealing with the King of Swords, who's very detached and cold, and there's a need to pay attention to tonalities, the way they come across, their emotions, how they come across. Like 1 minute is one thing, the next minute's another. What we're unaware of is there's a justice situation at play. Everything that you put in towards the situation, or whatever this may be, whether it be time, energy, money, emotion, Libra energy, your justice is at hand, obviously. And so what we're hopes and fears is this is something that we put a lot of time and energy into, a lot of hard work, something we've invested a lot of time into. Our hopes is that this isn't going to be a waste, obviously. And fear is that it has been a waste, or that we're not going to see good results from it. Our self-influence is intellect over emotion. Keeping our boundaries. Seeing through the bullshit. Using our discernment. Which I feel like this collective is perfectly well aware. It's just a matter of waiting for that slip up, or finding that tangible proof. But I feel like all the answers are definitely right in front of us, and our guidance is with our self-influence of using our discernment, keeping our boundaries up, and seeing through the bullshit. So our guidance is to be able to see clear. We'll have a clear vision of where we're going once we realize what this underlining energy may be that's been trying to hide. There's definitely a need to pay close attention. It's right underneath our noses. Quite literally. Quite literally. You could have you could be experiencing telepathic connections. Pay attention to, there's a need to pay attention to like the scenery, like lighting through doors or windows, or there's something that's very significant about that. Paying attention to things that we never would normally pay attention to. Very subtle clues all over the place. Like imagery, like symbolic, obvious energies that are making themselves very apparent. Our advice is some kind of partnership or friendship is of significance. As I said, what we're aware of is we're dealing with the King of Swords, somebody who's really detached, very very detached, maybe cold cut with their words, her words, kind of back and forth. They stand firm in their stories. And what is the outcome to that? What's the outcome? Actually, what about this? Okay, so let's just start over. So we're in the recent past. We've been trying to leave the past behind, right? But we're concentrating on all the spilled milk rather than concentrating on what's still in front of us currently. We're struggling with leaving the burdens of the past behind, knowing when it's too much to carry, what's taking up our time and our energy, what's distracting us, what's constantly got our mind boggled up, or because the challenge is letting those new resources and letting that new beginning come in. But there is going to be a lightning bolt. I think there's going to be a sudden realization or something, change in separation, or paying close attention to a live-in partner or roommates or their relationship or your friendships, a group that you belong to. There's going to be a realization of something that's self-influence, or the external influence is taking that leap of faith and taking a chance in something, and maybe a chance risk that you'd have to take regarding your creative life or romantic life or something regarding this situation. Taking a leap of faith regarding this King of Swords, perhaps, or taking a leap of faith in maybe detaching yourself from a situation, seeing it with logic. There's a need to detach. What we're unaware of is this justice is at hand. All your hard work, everything that you put into something is about to be returned to you full. And there's a need, something to do with resources, a job, being patient with a job opportunity, or not mixing business with pleasure. Something to do with something we're working on that we're master, something we're really good at doing, putting a lot of time and effort and energy into is at stakes. Keeping our boundaries, using our discernment on who to let in, not letting everybody know there's a need to not tell keeping things to ourselves. Using our discernment. The guidance is seeing something with a clear vision about what we're doing, where we're going. Using these boundaries and this logical way of thinking, not being too cut cold, but watching what our words are, watching our reactions. Their advice is some kind of friendship. Pay attention to some kind of friendship. A clear vision regarding this friendship, partnership. Family legacy. Family could be of significance. Something to do with family legacy or something, resources, something to build long and lasting stability and security. What about this friend card? What about this partnership? What about the partnership? Some kind of new project. Yeah, see, some kind of new project or some kind of aha moment, an epiphany moment regarding some partnership, friendship. Not mixing business with pleasure. Having a clear vision. Okay, this new project. There's going to be a new project or some kind of news about something. An aha moment regarding something. A realization. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. 10 of Cups. Connections, close connections, paying attention to your friend group, paying attention to your partner. There's something about connections and family. The relationship between your friends and family, your relationship between your family and some partnership, some relationship with a friend or something. With Uranus and Gemini, it's a matter of expecting the unexpected. There's a lot of like I said, the whole sorcery thing keeps coming to play. You're being watched by a King of Pentacles. This is something to do with some kind of foundation. Having a clear vision. Just how some friendship or some partnership is working on something with some kind of family situation regarding some kind of your foundation, stability, place of stability, security. Seeing through the bullshit, using your discernment, keeping your boundaries up, knowing what to say, not what to say, who to have in, like who to let in, who not to let in. I don't understand that, but clearly this is something that we're learning. I feel like we definitely have guides and angels that have been trying to give us the clues this whole time. I feel like the collective is perfectly aware of this, and it's just a matter of how everything's been messing with the mind, trying to make things hard to figure out. But this is something that we're going to be juggling. We're juggling, trying to figure the situation out, how to make heads or tails of something. There's definitely connection, telepathically connection. You may be seeing things that you normally don't. You could be getting somebody that's going to come in and give you a message, or you're receiving a message. A whistleblower. Or this could be somebody that's going to come in and like do that third degree, like, what are you doing with your, like, but this is something that we're not aware of. And I feel like as long as we talk about everything, we're leaving nothing, there's no room for anything that's left unsaid, right? It's all about honesty. It's all about honesty. Something a lot of people don't know the first thing about. So what's the outcome, Spirit? What is the outcome? Paying attention to our surroundings, our close surroundings. Nature is of significance. Relationships of nature. Birds are of significance. Little messengers that are letting you know, they're letting you know things. This is something that's had us in a mingle of anxiety and stress. That's why there's a need to keep your boundaries up, and who to let in and who not to let in. knowing who to trust and not to trust. I feel like right now, I don't even feel like there's anybody that you can trust, because I feel like there's a storyline that's coming together, and I think everybody's involved, or there's something about everybody knows but you. Quite literally. So what's the outcome? The outcome of this. The outcome. The outcome. They've been trying to get certain responses out of you, how you're reacting to something, perhaps trying to keep you in a pattern in order for you not to receive something. The outcome is ending the cycle. This could be a cycle of a friendship. This could be a cycle of a way of living, patterns. We're aware of this already, right? As we all know, not everything is exactly doesn't work quite that easily, but I feel like God is that's why things have been. I feel like there's been a collective that's been very fortunate thus far, even through all of the challenges that this invisible energy has been trying to cast our way. Because through these challenges, let's just say this, the chosen, I'm not saying we're chosen, but there's people with higher purposes and higher favored purposes in life that, if you watch Carl Jung, a lot of the chosen people turn to vices because of the challenges that they face, the challenges that they have to endure, because it's not easy being a chosen. For some reason, that just sparked through my mind. And there's also the energy of awakening, and how some people in their spiritual gifts, I'm not condoning it by all means, I think there's other vices also, but I'm thinking we're aware of this, seeing through the illusions. I feel like being tapped in, and this energy has been making sure that there has been a high stakes of making sure we're very aware and alert, and being inebriated is of significance. And I'm not saying I'm not condoning it. There's other vices, but challenges that have been illusions casted, seeing through the illusions, getting clarity, using your Queen of Swords energy, cutting through the bullshit, cutting through the confusion, and seeing through the illusions of it. Not everybody is what they're saying they are. Paying attention to sudden changes of behavior, routines, responses, paying attention to how you respond and interact on things, your independence, and how what you're doing with your life is of significance. What we're doing is we're trying to build up a life of our own where we're not underneath the thumb of somebody else, and gaining our own resources so we don't have to worry about that is of significance too, and kind of at stake. And I feel like they're trying to take that away from us too, perhaps. But it hasn't worked so far, because, well, as long as you're honest, you don't have nothing to worry about. Standing your ground in what you're doing, being honest and forthcoming in what you're doing. It's nobody else's business what you do with your time or your energy or your money or your finances or what you do with your resources. It's really nobody's business. And if they weren't up your ass all the time, you probably wouldn't have to worry about that, with all due respect, mind the French. But your home life could be of significance. This could have some kind of effect on your home life. You could be dealing with an emperor, somebody who's watching you closely, seeing how much you know, what you know, how you do it, what you do when you do it, and so forth. Well, if you guys are anything like me, I try just to mind my own business, and it wasn't until it got thick and heavy when I was just like, wow. Anyhow, so our outcome is the universe is stepping in. The collective that I'm reading for, our lives are about to transform. I feel like it's going to be a matter of our lives are going to be unrecognizable, if they haven't been already. Completely night and day different compared to what they were. I feel like I'm talking to a collective who's definitely waking up to abilities, challenges, heavy watched energy because of it. So there's a need to quit talking about what we know and how we know in a poker face. That song, poker face, it keeps going through my mind. So, and Stevie Nicks, Lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. So the challenge being is changing things up, putting the burdens of the past down, old patterns, old behaviors, old cycles, friends, people, places, things, you name it, in order for these new resources to come in. I feel like this is something that judgment is coming because the wheel, obviously, where there's going to be that lightning bolt where we're going to get faced with the painful realization of something that a lot of people that we've trusted and loved weren't exactly who and what they said they were doing or being. Paying attention to tonalities, behaviors, the roller coaster, bipolar moments, being ignored, nothing making sense. There's a reason for that. There's a huge reason for that. Pay attention. But I feel like this is a situation that's gone on long enough and the universe is about to step in and take over. But like I said, keep doing what you're saying. You keep doing and saying what you normally do. The devil's very much in the details, I feel. Whatever it is that you're working on, putting a lot of time and effort into, keep doing that. I feel like your hard work's about to pay off. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, I didn't even see that fall down. You could be having somebody coming in, make an offering. Some kind of offering. Yeah, and it landed with this, having a clear vision about something regarding an offering, having a clear vision about something regarding some kind of partnership, taking that leap of faith. We're aware that there's a need to think logically. Obviously, the Queen of Swords also self-influence, thinking with intellect over logic, or intellect over emotion, trying not to be too cold and cut off, but at the same time keeping your boundaries up, seeing through the bullshit, playing along like a sheeple, right? There is justice coming through as well. Something new is about to unfold. Family has something to do with it. Paying attention to our close relationships in our family and their connections, and something to do with our foundation. Paying close attention to the windowsills, the doors, the lighting to situations, things that we normally wouldn't notice. Paying attention to. Because illusions are being casted, there's a need to stand our ground and allow a cycle to end. Because it's caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of mental anguish. But I do feel like there's a message trying to come through, and I feel like it's loud and clear. Taking that leap of faith into the unknown, taking a chance. Confirmation. So I hope you find, I'm gonna leave that there. I hope you find confirmation clarity. Feel free to leave it. If this is your story, leave it in the comments. Utilize the thumbs up, thumbs down, and I will see you in the next. Good luck.